Flavia Luanga. I'm the Human Resources Director for Airtel Uganda. Just been through the roundtable discussion on, what is the importance of doing more than one international languages. And we are doing this at Alliance Française. Personally, I believe it's important to know more than one international language. Obviously, most of us speak English, so because it's really known worldwide, pretty much most people will be, English speaking. And personally, I choose, French because it's equally, largely spoken on the African continent, and so we have the, the Anglophone countries, then we also have the Francophone countries. And working at Airtel Uganda, we do have, countries that we operate in Africa, over 13 countries in Africa, and you could say almost 50% of those countries are Francophone countries. So I see there's a lot of value in learning more than one language. And like I said, I will speak more from my point of view, which is to learn the French language. And, at a point, we go to a situation where, the different countries would always reach out to each other to get talent for specific roles in their countries. Because, there are many reasons, but one of them being that, the roles are scarce in the specific country. So many people reached out to us from other Francophone speaking countries and other countries which are Anglophone, but Francophone especially, I felt hurt because I believe we have very good talent at Airtel Uganda, and we do have good talent in Uganda. So with the opportunity of knowing the French language and the fact that you're already a professional, it adds so much more to your life. So, because you will find that if you have so many people who have the capability, how does the employer choose you from the next person? I think French language is a key differentiator. And like again, I said, I'm speaking about Airtel per se, because this is the opportunity I saw. And once I saw that opportunity and I realized, oops, our professionals do not speak French, then that's when I approached Alliance Française, and for 5 years now, they've come through and we've structured some French classes at the place of work. So we have a stream of people coming through at different levels and trying to learn the language. So at least I want my people to be prepared. I want them to be ready so that, when these kind of opportunities come, that they end up to be the preferred, candidates for the jobs, because they already know English and they know it very well. But then, and they're professionals, they're very good at what they do. Now the only challenge is they can't speak French, and the opportunities are there. And I've sent some of my people to the French-speaking countries, but the ones where I've been able to send them are the ones where, there's at least a balance of both French and English. So I've been able to send people to Seychelles, I even have a finance director in Seychelles today, Ugandan, who didn't know any French, but because they sort of, as a country, they've embraced both languages. So it was easy for me for this person to go. They didn't go as a finance director. They went as a financial controller, and today they're a finance director. I've also sent people to Rwanda, and as you probably already know, Rwanda is also now really picking up on the English. So it's important to have at least two national or multinational, international languages. So that's the opportunity I see.
My name is Bujingo Don Patrick. I work with Aloysia Organic Natural Health Products as the Managing Director. And I also work with Macquarie University Business School as the Lecturer of Marketing and the French language. I think firstly, this roundtable on French and employability for me is an opportunity to give a testimony. I'm a product of the benefit of having studied the French language. So I believe this roundtable discussion gives us room to look at the past, where we are, and the future. So it's a very, very strategic discussion. I did get the passion to study the French language. Firstly, I was exposed to this language rather young, not with much interest for myself, but rather the motivations of my teachers, French bread, things like this after class. But then as I went into the higher levels, I started to see the value of this language, the beauty of the language. So for me, the passion was mainly to see that we could fit into this global village. French is a beautiful language, and knowing the language itself exposes us and the opportunities of the world out there.
Raymond Muhechi is my name. I'm a lawyer and a French student at Alliance Française de Kampala. I'm very much interested in French, and I love the French language because of the opportunities it presents to not only my profession, but also to the people I work with. I'm a lawyer, and my work is mostly into international law, as well as in Uganda. I do private practice in Uganda as well, in addition to the international work I do around the world. And my experience in my international law field has been challenging in the past because of not being able to speak the French language. I've been missing out on several work engagements, and I've also had challenges in some work engagements. Shared some experiences. One I had recently in 2019 in Benin, where I lost a job opportunity with United Nations because I couldn't speak the French language. And when last year I was in France, I was left on a train because I couldn't understand what they were saying on the train, and I missed my stop. So these challenges that I kept facing showed me why I need to learn the French language, why I need to add French to the English language. Not only is it important to my work, but also interacting with the other people around the world. When I saw this program being organized by Alliance Française and the partners on French language and employability, I realized that I must attend this event. Not only is this event going to inspire me to, learning a language requires commitment and inspiration. Not only is this event going to inspire me, but I'll also learn how to inspire people and also meet the top employers who are going to tell us why the French language is important to them, why they pick out someone with French language as an addition to work in their companies and organizations. And it doesn't matter whatever profession, all professions, engineering, we're seeing journalism, we're seeing the legal practice as well, we're seeing all professions require the French language. And noting that also we're seeing more French countries connecting to East Africa, DRC, Burundi, Rwanda. This program becomes very important for us to really, take on.
I'm Gloria Rodriguez, and I am working with International Organization for Migration. I am the Human HR Resources Officer here in the IOM Uganda. I already mentioned it in the panel or discussion. You see, as International Migration Organization, we are very open to diversity, and our job deploys us in different countries all over the world. So it's important that when you as an IOM staff member get to become an international officer and you're assigned to a certain country and it speaks French, and you have to have that language skills, which is French. And as I mentioned also a while ago, I was surprised that in Africa, the countries speaking French is so many compared to the European part. So that's why we require ourselves to learn a second language or a third language if we can, as much as possible, because you really have to blend in the culture, and language is the key to the culture of the country. So yes, that's why we require them. They have to speak the language where they are supposed to be.
My name is Walimbwa Teddy. I currently work with Stanbic Bank as a consultant in the call center. I've been working so far for 3 years under Stanbic Bank, and proudly to be a member of Alliance Française, the French club. It hasn't been long, but I'm proud to be one of the members. I did French part of my university program, but it was a compulsory course because I was studying with the Missions of Africa. So because they have French programs, they have English programs, so I had to do French. So I did French for 3 years during my social sciences bachelor's course. And then they sent me to Congo for 2 months to have an experience in speaking French and listening besides the classwork. And shortly they sent me to Burkina Faso for 4 months. And I did intensive, it was an intensive program, but it was more of past work, like interacting with people, of which it helped me so much. Because if I didn't have the knowledge of French, then I wouldn't interact with the people, I wouldn't get information from them, and I would feel it difficult to fit in the community.
I also picked up a lot more from the other speakers. I picked up a lot from the people who are, the students who are seated on the floor. And you see, there's a lot of opportunity. So the question is, why do I have to learn French? For me, the simple answer is, you do not know what you will stumble on. You just don't know. When I hear that, the kind of testimonies that came through, you realize there's, you cannot even put a number to the opportunities. There's so many opportunities. Some we know, some we don't even know, but they are there. So just learn the language.
My name is Magali Losange. I'm the head of courses of Alliance Française Kampala. I would say first of all that was a direct answer to a request we heard a year ago. So a year ago we met with a couple of teachers at Chambogo University, and some of the head teachers asked us, how can you create more awareness on the specific job opportunities offered for people who can speak French. We thought about it. We realized that instead of having French teachers telling them the full story, it would be better for us to meet employers and employees who are already living this idea that with French, you have access to more job opportunities. So this conference was an opportunity to listen directly from the people who hire people speaking French, but also from the people who already speak French and are using this skill for their professional career.
Yes, I think the French language has come in fundamental for me as primarily as a French teacher, being a lecturer of the French language in Mackay University Business School, and also being a marketing lecturer. Now this helps me fuse the experience that I've seen in the French world, because I had a chance to do my master's in France, in one of the top cosmetics brands in the entire world called L'Oréal. And for me, this was an experience to see the marketing angle at a global perspective. And at the end of the day, I picked this experience to share with my students. And how this also now taps into Aloysia Organic is that we want to tap into this global market. How will you tap into the French market when you do not have any chance to speak the French language, for example? So meaning our products can be able to reach the French-speaking community, the Francophone community in Africa, and this is the future really. Today, this language is becoming an official language in the East African community.
I'll speak, yes, from a human resource, but there's also a business angle that I picked up here. And I was like, okay, this is something I'd never thought about. From a human resource perspective, obviously, like I said, I've seen so many advertisements from the time I started, looking out for a job when I just left university. There's so many adverts I've read, and they say French is an added advantage.
Je m'appelle Raymond Muhechi. Je suis avocat international ici à Kampala. Aujourd'hui, prendre employability en langue française. Pour prendre langue française, practice.
I would like to think that the students realize that there are so many opportunities. Usually we think about the most obvious ones, such as, of course, French teachers, translators, but they realize that the French can be this little extra touch. So as long as you have a specific education, French will open more doors for you, but it can come along with so many different skills, and it can be used in so many different sectors. So the main goal of this gathering was to inspire and to put a light on all the different opportunities. From the HR managers, I hope what they realize is that there are already a lot of people who can speak French in Uganda. And on my side, the idea was, okay, how can we do more moving forward?
Je m'appelle Flavia Luanga. Je suis une étudiante de langue française depuis 5 ans. Je suis apprendre avec l'Alliance française, mais je parle un peu de la langue française parce que je suis très occupée avec mon travail. I'm Flavia Luanga. I'm a student of the French language. I study at Alliance Française. I speak little, very little of the language because I am too occupied with my job. So I intend to start taking up, classes, online classes. I intend to read French written books, and I want to also get into the videos, do movies, simple movies. And then I also want to join the French club here at Alliance Française. So we were sharing quite a bit with Magali and the director on some of the things they could do, given my experience, someone who's been loving the language and learning the language. So I shared with him some of the few ideas I had that could probably help, people like myself.
My name is Guy Maza, and I'm the manager of this research center of Alliance Française, which is also called Library, which happened to be the biggest resources center with French and Francophone resources. From when I attended this talk and thoughts, I was very impressed because we had so many people, they came. And when it comes to practice, people ask so many questions about how can we practice the language. And as the manager of Resources Center of Alliance Française, I could relate to those questions because I've been asked so many times by students and also members who want to to have opportunities to practice the language. Because in Uganda, it's the English is predominant, so they don't have so many opportunities to practice outside of their classes. It was a great opportunity for them and also for us to hear from them what they want, the expectation. And from someone who work here and also who is always in interaction with members and also students, I would say we have a huge responsibility here in the library because we have resources, physical resources such as books and also movies, DVDs, and internet, because we provide them with internet. And then we always advise them to use them, to borrow those books, to go home and read. Now we have an online library. You don't have to come here and read from here or to borrow a book from here. We can create an account for you and you go and you practice from home. And then for us, the library provides them with so many resources in French, yes, physical but also online. And also we have activities which help them to practice the French language, such as French Club, which is an opportunity for students and members to share and to speak on different topics in French. So it's time for those student members. They're Francophone, they're Anglophones, and they meet and they share, they help each other. Yes, and also we have other activities with different purposes, but the main goal is to help them to practice French.
First of all, I would like to say that this is something we hear very often, and that's why we try on ourselves to be more flexible and to really adapt to the schedule of these busy professionals. One of the things we've done is to provide classes online, so someone doesn't have to come to Alliance Française or doesn't have to wait for a teacher to come to the office to learn French. So that's the main innovation, I would say. And then there are also many other ways outside of Alliance Française to take advantage of any little time you have to improve your French. Whether, again, we're talking about watching a movie, it doesn't look like you're learning, but you're actually learning while you're watching a Netflix movie. There are a couple of different apps. I would talk about Duolingo. That's another quick way to practice. So the most important thing is to make sure that you don't give up. Maybe you feel like you're not doing so much, but you're actually doing enough to keep on practicing and being exposed. Of course, classes will help you to get a proper grasp of the language, but as long as you keep on trying to find a way to practice, you're good.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Magali Losange, je suis la directrice pédagogique de l'Alliance française de Kampala. Et l'une des choses qui m'a le plus marquée aujourd'hui, ça a été le sourire du public, l'enthousiasme du public en découvrant toutes les opportunités offertes à ceux qui parlent le français. Donc merci à tous ceux qui sont venus aujourd'hui au Talks and Talks French and Employability. I say that one of the things that I really enjoyed was to see the smiles and the enthusiasm of the public who was able to discover all the opportunities offered for people who can speak French. Thank you very much to everyone who came to the conference today.